Okay, good. All right. Hey, welcome to Community on Aging. I guess I'm leading today. Can you turn that off? Oh,
I can't see.
I love technology. Yeah, there's nothing where, can you see me?
No. No, I can't.
What?
I just saw a picture of Liz, but I can't hear anything.
I can't see anyone, but my camera is not on, so. Does anybody have their camera on?
I do.
Okay, can you hear me? We're gonna move to another room where it's gonna work. So give me 5 minutes.
Okay.
Other side.
Don't go anywhere. Oh, I like this setup better. I'll pretend I'm a teacher. We're
Hi.
close. Hi, we're close.
I left my camera on just for you, Kathy.
All right, well, we're still working on it. Sorry for this, guys. Unless can I talk through up there instead of my Zoom?
Yeah, just close that. Yeah, Kathy, there's a lot of echo.
Mm-hmm.
Walk around with this. Okay, better?
Much better.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
Okay, we'll try again. You won't be able to see anybody, but I will have them introduce themselves. Roll call. So
Ashley with Brookdale starting tomorrow.
Ashley with Brookdale. Starting tomorrow.
Wayne, RPC.
Wayne, RPC.
Lisa at the Alzheimer's Association.
Lisa with the Alzheimer's Association.
Alyssa with Chad
Alyssa with Chad at
at UIUC.
UIUC.
Janie, Traditions Health and Hospice.
Janie, Traditions Health and Hospice.
Liz
Liz from
from
somewhere like Synergy, I don't know.
Anna from Brookdale.
Anna from Brookdale.
Chris from the Pavilion.
Chris from the Pavilion.
Mary from Savoy Therapy.
Mary from Savoy Therapy. Laura Gallagher Watson, Chris Healthy Aging. All right, and we have Cynthia Johnson on Zoom.
Hi,
She-
everyone.
Sheila Gruel, I see. Chelsea Rhodes, right?
Hey, everybody.
Okay, and Nicole
Hello.
and Nida.
Hello.
Ooh, Paige is gonna do it from here then, huh? So, yeah, yeah, okay, Paige is not here, but she is gonna present, but she's here.
Yep, I'm here on Zoom.
You're here on Zoom. And Sandy? Are Sandy still there? She's probably preparing for Thursday. And Jessica?
I'm here.
Okay, anybody else I missed on Zoom?
I'm Jessica from Transitions Hospice, by the way, Kathy, just
Oh,
throwing that out
sorry.
there.
Transition Hospice, Jessica. Okay,
I'm just Jessica to Kathy.
just Jessica. All righty, there you are. Okay, so great, that's who's here today. Wonderful. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda? Motion to approve, okay. Second? Thank you, Chris. All righty, do we have a treasurer's report?
Yes, the treasure report is the same as last month, $3,576.93.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
I will add, we're gonna spend like probably about 600 of that on the event, but I'm just kind of waiting until logistics get worked out.
And what event is that? We will talk about that later. So you'll have to stay tuned for that event information. Okay, so it was, I think, who seconded it? You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, she got it. All right. Report from our philanthropy committee. Can you hear me well?
Do you want me to pop up there?
So if speakers come up here, that'd be good. All right.
Hello all. So the summer senior event is coming up really, really fast. It's on June 11 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. If you are having a booth, we do ask that you bring your own supplies. So please bring your own table, a tent if you'd like it for coverage. Remember always that it's like a wind tunnel in that parking lot. So everything needs to be pretty sturdy. We are also asking if you are participating in the event that you come a little bit before and stay a little bit after to help with setup and tear down. There will be live music the entire event. There will be food trucks for purchase, and then there will be free face painting, free bubble artist, and live music for all 3 hours, as well as the 1K. And we are good on sponsorship. We are good on pretty much everything at this point. Just please, please, please share the flyer that has been sent out, and we will send that out again today. There's also a Facebook event, and this is family friendly, senior friendly. So bring your family, your friends, and if anybody can bring a bus full of residents, that would be phenomenal.
And it's free.
Yeah, everything is free. The only thing that costs is the food truck that's available for purchase, but literally everything else is free. So it'll be really good. So you may have any questions? Okay, see you on June 11.
Thanks, Liz.
I am back. Okay. All righty. So old business. What do we have for old business? Anything that we've talked about in the past that we need to? You guys, anybody old business? Okay, new business. We have to approve the nomination of Ms. Chris Bruns to vice chair. So we are appreciative that she's agreed once again to take on the leadership position. So do we need to have her leave the room and we all vote, or do we?
I just need two approvals.
Two approvals.
Yep, a first and second.
Can I have an approval to elect Chris Bruns to vice chair to Committee on Aging? All right, thank you. Anybody from, all right, I need a second. We got some seconds. Okay, so welcome, Chris. So from my understanding then, Ashley and I are co-chairs. Damn it. Okay, I'm still co-chair. And Chris will be vice chair, and then treasurer is Liz, and secretary is Jessica still. Okay, we got it. The A team is on the move. Sounds good. All right, anything else for remove to the speak? Oh, all in favor of the, do we have to approve that? See, I don't know any of these rules.
We
I
don't have
just,
to approve it. We'll
we
go to
just,
speaker.
okay, okay. All right, so Paige, are you there?
I am here, so I can try to share my screen. I have a PowerPoint.
Okay,
Let me see if I know how to do it. Oh,
do we have to do something on our end though?
Yeah, I think she should be able to.
Ooh,
There you-
we see it. Yep, we're good.
okay. So I'll first just go over myself and my role. My name's Paige Cler. I'm a nurse practitioner at Carle Geriatrics, and I started here in 2014. I previously was working with Dr. Suma Peter, which most of you probably know, as she's been at Carle as a geriatrician for over 20 years. She recently moved to only rounding in the nursing home setting. So we have a new geriatrician that I'm with. His name is Dr. Lee. He got here about 2 weeks ago at Carle. He's taking new patients in case anybody has patients that are needing a new primary care provider. We are open and seeing anybody that needs to be seen. Today, I'm going to talk about blood pressure. Please feel free, if you have questions, concerns, you're happy to interrupt me. We'll do this sort of informally. And there's my little spiel. Okay, let me see. Okay. So high blood pressure in medical terminology is known as hypertension. So you'll have lots of providers, especially cardiologists, that will use this term. It's basically meaning they've got elevated blood pressure. We know that high blood pressure is a condition in which the long-term force of the blood against your arteries is high enough that it may eventually cause health problems, most notable heart disease. A lot of times patients want to know, well, what is blood pressure? And it's basically how hard your heart is working in order to pump blood flow all the way to your fingers and your toes. So that's kind of what I try to tell them. Typically, the top number for blood pressure, which is known as the systolic, in my age of patients, which is 65 and older, I tell them that a normal top number for blood pressure is between 110 and 140. And then the bottom number, which is known as the diastolic, normal for over 65 would be 60 to 90. So a lot of times I have to educate my elderly patients that, 120 over 80 is not considered always normal for them. And if their top number is consistently, 135 or 138, that's okay for them. And they need that education piece. We know that untreated high blood pressure can lead to multiple different organ failures that can happen, including strokes, heart disease, including heart failure, kidney failure, and also retinopathy of the eye, which can lead to blindness. So reminding patients that when you have an elevated blood pressure, it can be a serious finding or it can not be a serious finding, and really keeping in mind that daily blood pressure readings are what's important. So if they get one high number on Monday and then Tuesday their blood pressure is fine, they can still write those numbers down, but they don't need to be crazy worried about it. One thing at Carle that we do, which I sort of like, but I sort of don't like, is if a patient goes to see a specialty provider such as dermatology or the eye department and their blood pressures are taken, if the top number is over 140, their primary care provider will automatically get a message, and the patient will also get a message in their My Carle that says your blood pressure was high at a specialty office visit and your primary care provider wants to see you in the office. So again, I try to educate patients. I'm happy to see them, but really a one-time elevated blood pressure reading is not necessarily something to worry about. We really want to look at consistency and take blood pressures, every day at the same time and do it, for at least a week before we get too overly worried. What makes you a high risk for blood pressure? Of course, we all know diabetes, an unhealthy diet. So if you're eating the fried chicken rather than the baked chicken, and you do that consistently over your lifetime, that can, predispose you to high blood pressure. Obesity, which luckily in the geriatric population, I don't see obesity a whole lot, so that's a good thing. Alcohol use, tobacco use, and of course, genetic and family history. So sometimes too, I'll have patients that come in and they don't understand why they have high blood pressure, as they don't have any other risk factors. And I'll tell them, sometimes it's just in your genetic makeup, and we still need to treat the blood pressure, even though you don't have any other risk factors that predisposed you to getting high blood pressure. Another important fact that lots of people don't know is that over-the-counter NSAID use or cough medicines with pseudoephedrine can definitely elevate your blood pressure. So if I have a 90-year-old that has arthritis and she takes ibuprofen every single day for her arthritis pain, over time, that daily ibuprofen use can make her blood pressure elevate. So it's important in the geriatric population, if you've got somebody that's being treated for high blood pressure, but they also need something for osteoarthritis pain, you really want to detour them from taking any of the NSAIDs, Aleve, ibuprofen, naproxen, unless obviously their physician says that it's okay. Tylenol is a better choice. The way that Tylenol is digested in our system, it's through the liver, not the kidneys. So it's a safer option when you think about somebody that has elevated blood pressure. Okay, so how do you know if you have elevated blood pressure? So there's a few different ways that people can check their blood pressures. I've got pictures here. You've got the wrist cuff, you've got the upper arm cuff, you've got the Dynamap machine, and then of course you've got good old manual readings. I like to tell patients that when they're coming in for doctor's appointments, they should bring in their home blood pressure cuff so that we can make sure that it matches our manual readings. The wrist cuffs, I'm not a huge fan of. I just don't feel like they're as accurate, but I'm mindful that some patients physically can't get on the upper arm blood pressure cuff. So if all they have is the wrist and that's what works for them, that's fine. But I try to proactively get people to do the upper arm cuff, which is like the one pictured there in the center. Dynamaps, of course, are used at nursing homes and even here in the hospital setting. We don't use them here in our department in geriatrics. I have all of my staff do manual blood pressure readings because I just feel like that's more accurate. It's important if you have a patient or you're a patient advocate and you go with them to an appointment and they use a Dynamap as pictured there on the right. If it's an elevated blood pressure number, you really should be asking the provider or the CMA or whoever's rooming the patient that they need to recheck it manually, and then enter the manual reading if it was lower than the Dynamap reading. Correct ways to check blood pressures at home, and this is really, really important. Lots of people don't understand that if you're not checking the blood pressure the correct way at home, it's going to give you a false number. And if you call in with blood pressure readings to your provider's office and you're not checking the blood pressures the correct way, I might be changing medications based on telephone messages, but really the patient is not checking the blood pressure the right way. So I always try to review this with patients. You want to make sure that the cuff size is correct, and you can read the cuff size on, I think, any of the machines that you would get from home or even the Dynamap. It measures the circumference of the arm because you've got cute little old ladies that have really little arms, and then you've got those larger men that are farmers and they're still working and they've got larger arms. You want to try to place the cuff on the bare arm. We know reality is this doesn't always happen, especially in providers' offices. We're in a hurry, and so they might put the blood pressure cuff over a sweater or something like that. So again, if you get an abnormal number, they really need to retake the blood pressure and try to do it on a bare arm. You want to sit in an upright position with your back supported and your feet flat on the floor. A blood pressure should never be taken when legs are crossed. So as women, we like to cross our legs when we're sitting, and really the legs need to be uncrossed and both flat on the floor. You obviously want to make sure that you're relaxed for about 5 to 10 minutes before taking a blood pressure measurement. Again, I have patients that sometimes start talking to me as I'm checking blood pressure, and I have to politely say, okay, like we'll talk about that later, just be quiet. If you, oh, this is what I was talking about even earlier in the presentation. If you have consistently elevated blood pressure readings, such as the top number is greater than 140 for 3 days in a row, then you need to contact your primary care provider. Or if patients are being seen by cardiology services, you can always check with cardiology. Another specialty service that some of our patients will follow with for elevated blood pressure is actually nephrology, so a kidney doctor. So it's important, again, to kind of know with your patients who's owning the blood pressure and who's changing medications. Of course, it can always defer to primary care because lots of things defer to us, and we're always willing to help manage if we can. But it's useful to know, is this a cardiology patient? Is this a primary care patient? Or is this a nephrology patient? So what to expect at your provider's office? Obviously, we would manually recheck the blood pressures if I'm seeing somebody for hypertension. So like I said earlier, it's useful to always bring in your home blood pressure meter to compare and contrast. If I've got a patient that's got an elevated blood pressure reading and I'm looking at their blood pressures from home and I don't know what the etiology to the hypertension might be, I might get some updated blood work. I may also get an EKG of the heart just to assure that things look okay. And then, of course, we will talk about non-pharmacological lifestyle changes that patients can potentially proactively do on their own. Again, I'm mindful that in the geriatric population, it's not always easy to say, okay, go out and start exercising, or, stop eating all of those foods that are high in sodium, because that's not always easy for our patients. But again, at least giving them the education so that they hear it and they know that there's things that they can do, not just me giving them medications, is useful. And I think it engages our geriatric population to basically be involved in their care. So again, providers will start to look for rationales of the elevated blood pressure, age, comorbidities, lifestyle, etc. Typically, providers follow specific guidelines when we think about what kind of medication we're going to start for treatment with high blood pressure. It's called the JNC8. So below, there's a little algorithm. These guidelines do get updated from time to time. I think this one was last updated maybe 2 years ago. And so if you kind of follow along, basically our patients are going to be over age 60. So that's where I say I don't tend to worry about the blood pressure unless it's over 140 for the systolic or the top number. But again, you also have to look at, on the right side of the chart, does the patient have comorbidities such as CKD, which stands for chronic kidney disease, or do they have diabetes? Because that changes how a provider responds to high blood pressure. If somebody comes in to see me and they're 80 and they already have diabetes and chronic kidney disease, and their blood pressure is in the 150s, I'm going to say, oh my gosh, like that's really uncontrolled. We need to do something different. Versus if I have an 80-year-old that has no diabetes, no chronic kidney disease, and their blood pressure is in the 150s, I might think about more lifestyle changes because they don't have any other comorbidities yet at that time that would make me more worried. Race also plays a big part when we think about blood pressure. We know that the African American population have a higher incidence of heart disease and diabetes. So you also have to think about that when you're seeing a patient, or if you're following with an elderly patient. Again, what's their risk factors? And it's useful to just kind of think about those things in the back of your head, so that when you're with a provider, or if you're with family members and you're just kind of pondering, why would their blood pressure be high, or what's been going on in their life that would be making them have high blood pressure. Okay, so medications. There's multiple different medications that can treat high blood pressure. I listed a few of the different categories. People tend to get confused about this. So, a lot of times people think about water pills. A diuretic is really what that's called. The common diuretic that we'll give for high blood pressure is hydrochlorothiazide. I tend to not to start this initially because hydrochlorothiazide, and really any diuretic or water pill, again, is digested through the kidneys And for our geriatric population, we worry about dehydration just because of their age. So I don't usually start that one first, but it's an option. You also have the beta blocker group. So basically anything that ends in the letters OLOL, such as metoprolol, atenolol. These can be used for blood pressure. One thing that we have to note is that this can decrease the heart rate. So again, if I've got a patient that's on a beta blocker and they come in for blood pressure issues and their pulse is low, I would think, oh, well, it's probably because they're on a beta blocker. Another common group is the ACE inhibitors or the ARBs. So common medications that people are typically on is something called losartan or lisinopril. Common symptom of lisinopril is a cough. So again, if you got a patient on lisinopril and they start having a dry cough, or they were just started on lisinopril and they start having a dry cough, you could maybe associate that with the lisinopril use. If I have a patient that I am treating for blood pressure and I start them on lisinopril and they develop a cough that I'm pretty sure is from the lisinopril, I'll just change them to something different. Calcium channel blockers, the common one is amlodipine. One of the common side effects is swelling in the ankles. And really, providers should be going over these common side effects with anybody that's started on a new blood pressure pill. And again, as an advocate for geriatric population, if side effects are not discussed, you guys should be asking or inquiring, or again, even just educating the geriatric patients that you guys see or help out with. Another important note, patients should never discontinue a blood pressure medication without consulting with a provider. And that's important because some of these medications, if you stop them abruptly, it can cause other side effects that are not good. I'm not saying it's completely wrong. Say it's a Saturday and you can't get a hold of anybody and somebody's blood pressure is really low. It's not necessarily wrong to hold something, but you really need to make sure that the provider's office is aware, whether that's through, I like our My Carle, because I have lots of patients that send me messages through My Carle, or telephoning the office so that the next day, well, Monday, we can call and see what's going on. Oops, there we go. So what can you guys do as senior advocates or just advocates in general for the geriatric population? You need to ask providers lots of questions. So I like it when my patients ask questions because it kind of quizzes me to an extent, and it kind of makes my thinking process of like, well, why am I starting that medication? And is that the right medication? And did I ask them about their comorbidities, or did we talk about non-pharmacological ways of treating blood pressure? So I encourage anybody that's with a senior patient, you need to be asking providers, why is the patient on the drug? How long do they need to take it? What kind of side effects? And then obviously encouraging the non-pharmacological things that patients can proactively do themselves to help their blood pressure and their overall healthy lifestyle, such as weight reduction, which again, we know realistically, a 90-year-old can't go out and lose, 20 pounds, and I don't really want them to do that. But it's something to think about depending on what their BMI is. Going over the DASH diet, which there's lots of resources online about that. Reducing sodium intake the best that you can. Again, I know some patients have meals on wheels, or they have a hard time cooking for themselves. So I understand that these are not all realistic lifestyle modifications, but it's something to at least start as a talking point with them. Encouraging physical activity. I believe the American Heart Association supports this, that if you do a brisk walk for about 30 minutes, 5 times a day, it definitely decreases your chance of heart risks over time. So I try to give people a goal such as that, if it's feasible, and I know that they can get out and do some sort of exercise on their own. And then obviously alcohol and tobacco cessation. Some community resources that I will Google myself, or I'll tell patients to Google. Of course, the American Heart Association. I always like Mayo and Cleveland Clinic because I feel like they have good patient education on their websites that are user-friendly. Here at Carle, we have UpToDate, and I think other surrounding organizations as well have UpToDate. That's a research engine, I guess I would say, for medical diagnoses, and then of course the CDC. So I'm definitely not a hypertension specialist by any means, but high blood pressure we know just leads to so many other comorbidities, and in the geriatric population, it's so important to just really educate people, ask questions, know that there's medications out there, but also know that patients can do things on their own, and encouraging them to, seek out the guidance of a provider if they need to. As nurse practitioners, we're great at what we do. We're always here for patients. And so even if you can't get in to see a cardiologist or your physician, typically the nurse practitioners can help manage blood pressure as well too. So there's my spiel. Let me stop sharing. Let me see, how do I do that? Oh, there we go. Anybody have any questions, concerns?
Paige, I have a question, sort of related. Is there a way, I know Carle's very protective of their staff and I appreciate that. Is there a way to contact somebody like yourself or some of the geriatric physicians differently to actually get them to call back or to get some help?
Yeah, you need to use the patients need my Carle. I'll be honest with
Well,
you.
if it's not like, what if it's a general question versus like if I called about a patient, I usually can get through. If I'm calling because I have a question I want to ask about something, maybe it's related to a group of seniors versus one patient.
You can always you can just email me.
Is email the best way to do that?
Yeah, so I actually serve as the APP lead, we call it. And so I am the leader for APPs or nurse practitioners in primary care in the Champaign, Urbana, and Mahomet region. Okay. So I'm happy to field emails if there's questions, concerns, and if I don't know the answer or if I think, oh, that needs to go to somebody else, I'd just tell you and I'd forward it along. And my email is paige.cler@carle.com. So.
Okay. Okay, good to know. Yep. Any other comments? Paige, this is a good group of senior advocates. So if you ever need something on the other end with resources and services, we're one of the spots to stop to.
Perfect. So, yeah, I like it.
Okay, Jessica has a question, I think.
I couldn't get myself off of mute. I did not have a question. I was raising my hand when you asked for approval for Chris.
Oh. All right, Chris, you're actually in finally.
It's been up there for a while.
Oh, my dad. I love doing Zoom. Okay, anything else for Paige? Thank you so much for presenting. Yeah. It was very helpful for us to kind of keep track of what some of our clients are doing. And I'm at the age I'm going, oh, good. My blood pressure is okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
The drinking part I'm a little worried about. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye. All righty. Thank you. Okay. Announcements. I've got a few that were brought to us earlier that we can talk about. Brookdale is hosting a drive-through barbecue supply pickup on May 25th. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, just come by. We'll have pre-made kits with our signature seasonings.
Hold on a second. Can you hear her? We're going nuts now.
I can't hear anything.
Okay.
Barely.
Yeah, come up here if you have an announcement. We're doing some kind of static or something. So see if this works, if you can talk up here.
Okay, is that better? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, that's much better. Thank you.
Okay, Cindy. So Brookdale is a national company, came out with this program a couple of years ago called Signature Seasonings, and it's designed for seniors who are losing their taste buds, and they're also designed for people who cannot have sodium. So all of our seasonings are no salt added, and there's a variety of seasonings. So we are featuring our barbecue seasoning during the drive-through barbecue kit. Come get everything you need except the meat. Sorry, my budget wasn't big enough for that one. But yeah, we'd love to see you drive through. If you want to stop by and come in and tour, we've just done some remodeling to our front lobby and our theater chapel. So we'd love to have you.
Great. Thank you. All righty. Yep. Lisa from the Alzheimer's Association walk person.
So yeah, I'm Lisa, and then the day before the drive up barbecue is we're hosting our next Companies Who Care corporate kickoff event at Brookdale on Tuesday. It's a happy hour, so it's from 4 to 5:30. It's an open house. Come for a little bit, come for a lot, and it's just networking and learning a little bit more about the walk and answering any questions that anyone has. And so if you have any questions about that, please let me know. You don't have to RSVP, but if you want to too, that would be great. But it's Tuesday the 24th at 4 p.m. to 5:30 at Brookdale.
Yes, we had the one this morning at Windsor of Savoy, and they had wonderful snacks and breakfast for us. So thank you.
Sorry, I just want to talk real quick. We are asking everyone to send in any events prior to the meeting. So if you guys could send those in to us by June 17th next month, that would be great. It just kind of helps with the secretary aspect of things and tracking everything down. So just shoot us an email with your upcoming event and we'll add it to the agenda. That's all I have.
And if you don't have your event like solidified by that date, don't worry, because I'm still taking notes and we'll add it to the minutes. It just helps make sure that we get everybody's events added.
Okay. We, any other comments or questions? I know Sandy has hers coming up. Sandy, what's up?
Hey, so thanks. I just want to recap. Many of you are going to be here on Thursday for the expo. You can pull up to our Circle Drive, unload in our lobby, then get your car over to the FedEx parking lot, and then come and set up your booth. Certainly, if you still want to continue to send that PDF out to any and all, we greatly appreciate it. We're hopeful that we have a good turnout. We actually will have excuse me, my phone was ringing, so rude. We actually will have, we will be on CI Living. We pre-taped last week, so hopefully we'll get the word out again on that way. But if you guys want to share anything and everything that you can from your perspectives, we're just first and foremost grateful for everybody who wanted to participate. We have 22 vendors. I probably could have kept going at 35, but I have to cut it off due to space. But we're happy that so many were so interested in wanting to do this. So looking forward to seeing everybody, and bring an umbrella in case you've got to walk in the rain.
There's a question, do we need to bring our own tables?
Yes, you do have to bring your own tables. I'm sorry. I'll have chairs here for everybody, but you do need to bring your own tables. And I'm asking that you be set up and ready to go by 9:45.
Any other questions about that? Did you have one? No, okay. All right. Thanks, Sandy. Next.
I don't like the having to come up here part, by the way.
But you get to hang
I get to hang out with you. So I just wanted to let everybody know that we did get some increased funding for our social isolation program. So we're still accepting referrals for that. And I know also that last time we got together for the kickoff, we talked about that, was it Family Service or Care Horizons? I'm sorry, Care Horizons had all the ESS money, the emergency funds were gone. We do still have some funds for some, you know, for people that are in the categories of services that Chris has. So caregivers, people over 60, people with Alzheimer's disease or related dementia. So, I mean, I can't make promises, but we are still accepting applications for people that need help with stuff like that. So I guess I just wanted you to know that. So social isolation, we're still accepting clients. We do have some funding left because I know Champaign County otherwise doesn't have as much now. And also I wanted to let you know that we're hiring for someone to work on our memory care program. So if anybody, that's going to be a salaried position. So if anybody wants to work with us, let me know. And no, Kathy's not allowed. Not allowed. You have to stay where you are.
You're too valuable.
That is so thoughtful. Thank you. Anybody else have any
We don't have an event. I just wanted to make a general announcement. So for next month's meeting, Committee on Aging meeting, we're going to do a presentation about end of life care and overall hospice. We're also going to provide lunch because we used to do lunch long time ago before COVID, and we've gotten away from that. And I just feel like it would be nice to be able to eat lunch while we go through this meeting, since it's, you know, scheduled during lunchtime. So if you plan on coming to the meeting, we'll have boxed lunches. Let me know that you're coming just so I can have enough. I'll order a few more just to be prepared. But I just wanted to throw that out there. It'll help me schedule and organize.
Okay, so if we're interested in lunch next month, we need to let you know how far in advance?
Like week of is fine. I mean, it's on Tuesday, so if you could get me by the Friday before, that'd be helpful.
All right, will do. We'll send that out. Great, thank you. Any other questions, comments?
Just want to throw out, I don't even come up there again. Chelsea,
Hold on, send.
we got therapy dogs for the June 11 event. So we're already excited.
Chelsea, can you make that announcement or no? About the therapy dogs?
I heard you were going to pick them up.
I'm not a dog or cat person. I mean, I mean, they're okay, but I don't need to have them in my car. And so they think that I'm going to do that. Okay.
Wait, is that for, they have therapy dogs as a service, or they're bringing therapy dogs to the event? I can't hear anything.
They're bringing
them
therapy
to the
dogs
event.
to our June 11th event.
Oh, that's
So it's gonna be a
exciting.
freaking party, people. Bring the whole family, bring grandma, bring the grandkids, bring your daughter, son.
They said they'll be able to give us a total number on dogs closer to the event.
Very cool.
That's exciting.
I just don't want them in my car because they'll
Me
be,
neither.
I know. Yeah, Chelsea and I are the only ones in that whole group, and they're looking at us like, what is wrong with you people? I'm like, I don't hate dogs. I just don't have an interest in having them. Yeah, so email, there was just a question, Jessica. Email Jessica at Transitions Hospice by Friday before if you want to have lunch. Wow, cool. It's going to be a fun event. Just make sure you bring very, very heavy things to hold down your tent, or it will be in the next field across the way. I have sunscreen. I
was just about to say sunscreen's probably necessary. I think
have
last
two,
year
like,
it was
spray
so
bottles,
hot.
and so we'll have that at the entrance for people. And we have water, yeah. So water and sunscreen we got covered. Plus a lot of fun. So please come out to that.
Man, we've had what? Horrible rain, really, really hot, very windy. We just haven't had snow yet.
Now it's no, because we had all those. Now we're gonna have a gorgeous 75-degree day with minimal wind. That'll be great. So come on out. All right, anybody else? Okay, we'll see you at the next event and the next, oh well, yeah, we will see you at the 11th before we'll see you at Committee on Aging. And senior task forces tomorrow at 9. Oh, we do a happy hour.
Yes.
Come up here. Happy hour. That's how we're ending our Tuesday meeting. Happy hour.
Just a reminder, Amy Brown is hosting a happy hour. I know Age Friendly is coming, so it's for any senior advocate. It is this Thursday from 4 to 6, and I sent that invite in the email because I don't have her address memorized. So hopefully see you guys all there.
Are we supposed to bring anything?
No, she has an amazing menu. She has like 10 different options. She has it catered in.
Oh, all right. Well, then we're all definitely going. So see you all Thursday in Urbana on something that starts with the B road, right? Something circle, B circle.
Yeah, it's
something.
on the invite.
Yeah, it's on the invite. So if you don't have that invite, let us know. We'll make sure you have it. Hopefully we'll see you there so we can have some social time as well. Okay.
And Kathy, if I can jump in here, please. This is Sheila.
Hi, Sheila.
Just a reminder that we have the Champaign County Reducing Social Isolation Committee meeting at 10 o'clock on Thursday, May 26th. That's a Zoom meeting. If you're needing the invite, please just email me at eciaacommunity.org, and I'll be happy to get the link to you.
Thank you very
That
much.
was, Sheila, that was reducing social isolation.
Yes.
Okay.
Make sure I have it in my calendar. All right, anything else? Last call. All righty then. Well, thank you. Can I have a motion to adjourn our meeting? Oh, wait, no, we can't.
No, you can adjourn. I just
Oh,
want to end the recording.
Oh, okay. Can I have a motion to Chris and second it? All right. See you guys tomorrow from 4 to 6. Thursday from 4 to 6.
Thursday.
Not come tomorrow.